Have you ever noticed how some people seem to stay vibrant, curious, and full of life even as they get older? And then you wonder, what's their secret? I'm 80 years old, and if I've learned one thing, it's that the mind is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. Every day, I make a conscious choice to learn something new, whether it's reading a book, trying a new recipe, or even just exploring a different perspective on life. And let me tell you, this habit has changed my life in ways I never expected. You see, aging isn't just about the physical changes we go through. It's also about the mental patterns we develop over the years. Many of us think that after a certain age, learning becomes difficult, or that our minds naturally slow down. But that's not entirely true. The brain is incredibly adaptable, no matter your age. It's called neuroplasticity, and it means that our brains can continue forming new connections and pathways as long as we challenge ourselves. I didn't know about the science behind it when I started, but I felt the results in my day-to-day life almost immediately. Let me share a story. A few years ago, I decided to learn how to use a tablet to connect with my grandchildren online. At first, it was frustrating. I pressed the wrong buttons, got lost in menus, and sometimes felt completely defeated. But I kept going. I practiced a little each day, and over time, I became confident. Not only could I video chat with my family, but I also discovered new hobbies online, like learning to sketch digitally and joining virtual book clubs. That small decision to keep learning opened up a whole world of connection, creativity, and joy that I hadn't experienced before. It made me realize that learning isn't just about acquiring knowledge, it's about staying engaged with life, finding purpose, and keeping your mind alive. One of the most important lessons I've learned is that curiosity is a choice. You can choose to be curious about the world around you or to settle into the comfort of routine. There's nothing wrong with enjoying routine. I certainly have my favorite morning rituals, but when you allow curiosity to take the lead, life becomes richer. Even simple things, like asking questions about how a neighbor grows their garden, or exploring a new walking route, can stimulate your mind and spark creativity. The key is to approach life with an open mind and a willingness to step outside your comfort zone, even in small ways. Another habit that has helped me stay mentally sharp is setting small, achievable learning goals. I don't overwhelm myself with the idea of mastering something overnight. Instead, I break down what I want to learn into manageable pieces. For example, when I started learning a new language, I focused on a few words and phrases each day rather than trying to memorize entire chapters. Those small, consistent steps build up over time, and before you know it, you've accomplished something you once thought impossible. This approach isn't just practical, it's incredibly motivating and empowering for anyone, especially as we age. I've also discovered that learning isn't just about intellect, it's about emotion and experience, too. Engaging with art, music, and culture in new ways has opened my mind and heart. Attending a virtual concert, trying to play a new instrument, or even watching a documentary on a topic I knew nothing about, all of these experiences expand my understanding of the world. They remind me that life is full of opportunities for growth and discovery, and that it's never too late to explore something new. The joy that comes from these experiences isn't something money can buy, it's the result of actively choosing to keep learning and growing. Social interaction plays a huge role in this, too. I make it a point to discuss new ideas and learnings with friends, whether it's through conversation, online forums, or group activities. Engaging with others exposes me to perspectives I wouldn't encounter on my own. Even at 80, I've found that these interactions stimulate my mind in ways I never imagined. It's amazing how a simple conversation about a new idea or discovery can spark hours of reflection, creativity, and even motivation to try something completely different. And finally, one of the most empowering realizations I've had is that learning every day keeps fear of aging at bay. When you actively engage your mind, you focus less on the physical limitations that come with age and more on the possibilities that remain. Instead of thinking, I'm too old to do this, I think, I can try this today, and if I fail, I learn something new. That mindset has transformed how I experience life. It's not about denying aging, it's about embracing the potential and richness that still exists, even at 80. So, As I continue to explore, experiment, and discover new things every day, I feel more alive than ever. Learning has become more than a habit, it's a way of life. And it's not just about skills or knowledge, it's about curiosity, connection, creativity, and joy. I want you to know that it's never too late to start. Every day is a new opportunity to challenge yourself, explore something unfamiliar, and enrich your mind and soul. Learning is the secret to staying vibrant, independent, and engaged, no matter your age. Now that we've talked about curiosity, small learning goals, and social interaction, we can explore some specific strategies that make learning easier and more enjoyable as we age. From practical routines to mindset shifts, there are simple steps that can turn curiosity into a lifelong habit. Let's dive into that next. And feel that these insights are meaningful. Please type number 2 in the comments to let me know you're still with me. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I warmly invite you to do so, and don't forget to turn on the bell, so you won't miss any of our upcoming videos designed to uplift, inform, and inspire. Your support truly means a lot. It's what keeps us going and allows us to continue sharing thoughtful, helpful content just for you. Now, let's continue this journey together. So, we've talked about curiosity, small goals, and the joy of engaging with new experiences, but how do you actually make learning a part of your daily life, especially when you're in your 70s, 80s, or beyond? The truth is, it doesn't have to be complicated, and it doesn't have to take hours every day. In fact, some of the most effective learning comes from small, consistent actions, the kind that fit naturally into your daily routine. One approach I've found incredibly helpful is setting aside dedicated time for learning each day, even if it's just 10 or 15 minutes. It might sound small, but these short bursts of focused attention add up quickly. For instance, I read a few pages of a new book each morning over breakfast, and sometimes I jot down interesting ideas or questions that come to mind. That small habit has expanded my knowledge over the years in ways I never thought possible. The key is consistency. Even at 80, you can build a powerful learning routine simply by being deliberate with small, daily actions. Another strategy is to mix different types of learning. Not everything has to be intellectual in the traditional sense, like reading or studying. I often combine intellectual learning with hands-on or creative activities. For example, I started experimenting with watercolor painting last year. At first, I had no idea what I was doing, but the process itself taught me patience, observation, and problem solving. And when you combine that with something like learning about the history or techniques behind the art, you're engaging multiple parts of your brain at once. It's not just about absorbing information, it's about engaging your senses, your creativity, and your critical thinking all together. Technology is another tool that can make learning easier, especially for seniors who might feel a bit behind in the digital world. I know it can be intimidating at first, trust me, I've been there. But simple apps, online courses, and video tutorials can open doors to learning opportunities you may never have imagined. I've taken short online courses in history, science, and even cooking from around the world. Not only did I learn something new, but I also felt connected to a community of learners. And one of the best parts? You can go at your own pace, revisit lessons, and explore topics that truly interest you. It's like having a personal classroom available anytime you want. Social learning is equally important. I've found that discussing new ideas with friends or family adds another layer of understanding. Sometimes, someone else's perspective challenges your assumptions or introduces a viewpoint you hadn't considered. For instance, last month, I shared a new approach to gardening I had learned online with a friend, and she suggested a twist I wouldn't have thought of. That collaboration sparked a deeper understanding and even more curiosity to try new things. Learning doesn't have to be solitary. In fact, engaging with others can make it more enjoyable, memorable, and effective. It's also important to recognize that failure is part of the learning process. When I try something new and don't get it right the first time, whether it's a craft, a recipe, or a technological tool, I remind myself that mistakes are just steps in the journey. At 80, I've realized that letting go of perfectionism and embracing the learning process itself makes the experience far more rewarding. Each attempt, successful or not, builds confidence and reinforces the mindset that you are capable of growth at any age. Another habit that has helped me is keeping a learning journal. I jot down what I've learned each day, little discoveries, or even reflections on mistakes and surprises. It doesn't have to be long, a few sentences are enough. Over time, this journal becomes a record of your progress and a source of motivation. I often go back and read older entries, and it amazes me to see how far I've come. It's a concrete reminder that learning is a lifelong journey, and every day, no matter your age, contributes to your growth. I also make it a point to embrace curiosity in unexpected places. Learning doesn't always have to be formal. For example, walking through the neighborhood, I might notice a type of tree I haven't seen before or overhear an interesting conversation. I'll ask questions, look things up, or even try to learn a new word in another language related to what I observed. Small moments like these, repeated daily, create a habit of observation and engagement that keeps the mind agile and open. Finally, balance is crucial. It's easy to think that every waking moment must be devoted to learning, but that's not sustainable or enjoyable. I mix learning with rest, reflection, and activities that bring joy and relaxation. Sometimes, just sitting quietly and thinking about what I've learned that day helps consolidate new knowledge. Other times, I share stories or experiences with loved ones, which reinforces my learning while nurturing relationships. This balance ensures that learning doesn't feel like a chore but becomes an integral, joyful part of life. By integrating these strategies, short, consistent learning sessions, combining intellectual and creative activities, using technology, learning socially, embracing mistakes, journaling, noticing the small details, and maintaining balance, I've created a lifestyle that keeps my mind sharp and my spirit alive. At 80, I feel more engaged with life than ever, and I know that the key is not how old I am, but how curious and open I remain each day. Next, we'll talk about how this mindset doesn't just affect your learning but transforms your entire life, from your health and confidence to your relationships and sense of purpose. You'll see that staying curious isn't just a mental exercise, it's a way to live fully and vibrantly, no matter your age. By now, you've seen how small, consistent habits, curiosity, and openness can keep your mind sharp and your days vibrant. But the most beautiful part of learning at any age is how it transforms not just what you know, but how you feel about life. At 80, I can honestly say that my curiosity has become a source of joy, energy, and purpose. It's no longer about proving anything to anyone or myself, it's about experiencing life fully, one discovery at a time. One of the biggest lessons I've learned is that learning keeps you young, not just mentally, but emotionally and spiritually. Every new skill or idea challenges you, stretches your imagination, and keeps you engaged. I've seen firsthand that people who remain curious and willing to try new things often carry a sparkle in their eyes, a lightness in their step, and a sense of hope that transcends age. That's the real secret. Learning is not just a task, it's a lifestyle that keeps you alive in every sense of the word. Relationships are also deeply affected by this mindset. When you continue learning, you have fresh stories, insights, and experiences to share. Conversations become more meaningful, and connections deepen. I've noticed that friends and family often approach me with questions or for advice not because I have all the answers, but because I bring curiosity, empathy, and a willingness to explore ideas alongside them. That energy creates bonds that are nurturing and fulfilling, showing that learning is also about connection, not just knowledge. Another aspect I cherish is the confidence that comes with lifelong learning. At 80, you might expect to feel limited or stuck, but the truth is quite the opposite. Every new experience, no matter how small, proves that you are capable of growth. Trying a new hobby, learning a new recipe, or even understanding a new piece of technology reinforces the belief that life still holds possibilities. This confidence spills over into other areas. You approach challenges with resilience, make decisions more decisively, and embrace change rather than fear it. Learning also provides perspective, which is invaluable as we age. When you expose yourself to different ideas, cultures, or disciplines, you begin to see the world through multiple lenses. It's easier to appreciate diversity, accept uncertainty, and approach life with patience and humility. Personally, this shift in perspective has made me less critical, more compassionate, and more content with what I have. At 80, that sense of inner peace is worth more than any material possession. Now, let's talk about joy. There's something profoundly uplifting about discovering something new, no matter how trivial it might seem. I remember learning to play a simple tune on the ukulele last year, just 3 chords, but the thrill of producing music from scratch filled me with a childlike excitement. That joy isn't bound by age, it's fueled by curiosity and the willingness to try. Moments like these are reminders that life is full of surprises, and the more we explore, the richer our experiences become. It's also important to remember that learning isn't about competing with anyone else. You don't need to be the best painter, the fastest learner, or the most knowledgeable. The goal is simply to engage with life, to keep discovering, and to celebrate each small achievement. At 80, I find that letting go of comparison allows me to focus fully on the process rather than the outcome, and that's where true satisfaction lies. If you're wondering how to start your own journey, begin with small steps. Choose a topic that genuinely interests you, dedicate a few minutes each day, and allow yourself to explore without pressure. Use technology if it helps, connect with others who share your curiosity, and keep a journal to track your discoveries. Over time, these small, consistent actions create a momentum that transforms your days and your mindset. Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with a thought: age is not a limitation, it's an invitation. Every day is an opportunity to learn something new, to spark your curiosity, and to enrich your life. Whether it's reading a book, taking up a new hobby, or simply asking questions about the world around you, each moment you choose to learn is a moment that strengthens your mind, your heart, and your spirit. So, as you move forward, remember this: the secret to staying vibrant, joyful, and engaged at any age is to embrace learning with an open heart. Celebrate curiosity, welcome challenges, and cherish every discovery. At 80, I can say without hesitation that learning is not just a habit, it's a key to living fully. It keeps life exciting, relationships meaningful, and your spirit youthful, no matter the number of candles on your birthday cake. I'd love to hear from you. What new things are you learning, or what have you always wanted to explore? Share your experiences in the comments below. Your story might inspire someone else to take that first step. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and subscribe to the channel for more uplifting content. Remember, it's never too late to start, and every day offers a chance to learn something wonderful. Here's to curiosity, growth, and living your best life, no matter your age.